Hi everyone, it's Lori. Welcome to the channel. Today's episode is a shooting and editing video all about capturing gorgeous bokeh using holiday lights. Let's get started. So first, I'm going to show you two methods that you can use. One is using a Christmas tree with lights on it. The second will be with hanging lights. So what I'm showing you here is the distance that I am from the candle to the tree. Now this could be any subject. You could have a person sitting here. You want to be about 4 to 6 feet away from your subject. Now you want to make sure your focus point is on your subject. In this case, it was a lighted candle. You also, to get the largest bokeh, want to shoot at the lowest f-stop number. So I was shooting at 2.4. This is going to give you the best results for really large bokeh. The second option is you can just hang holiday lights, fairy lights, any type of string lights on a tripod. So you can see here I've got them just draped down. Now I did turn off my overhead lights because this was during the daytime so that I could even get a better effect. Now again, the lights are about 4 feet away. I have a 6-foot table and they're on one end and my candle was on the other end. Again, different candles are going to produce different size flames. So if you have a brand new candle, I find you do get a skinnier flame. You want to make sure your focus point is on that subject, which in this case, again, was the candle. And then you want to shoot at the largest wide open f-stop, so a low f number. Again, 2.4, really anything below 4 will work. F4 is going to give you a little bit tighter bokeh like you can see in this shot. You can decide how close you want to get to your subject, but again, you do want your lights to be about 4 to 6 feet away. Now that works best when you're in an indoor setting. If you are shooting with winter lights outdoors, you may need to get a little closer to your subject. It will really depend. I typically start at about 4 feet and then I'll adjust as needed. So you can use this technique with any type of subject. Now, again, shooting with the candlelight, you want to move your candle around the bokeh so that it almost looks like it's dancing around it. So I will adjust my lights or adjust the candle as I shoot and play with the subject. So those are some quick and easy tips to get started. Now let's look at some finished images and some editing tips. So I wanted to show you the images that I took, and I want to show you a couple different varieties. So you'll notice the size of the bokeh. This is what I was talking about as I was shooting. When you're shooting at, and let me do the info on this image. And let's see, it was at f4. You can see the difference in the bokeh versus at f2.4. So it gets larger. And that's what's going to happen with your lens. Now, I was using equivalent to an 85 macro lens. Different lenses are going to give you different shaped and different size bokeh. But I wanted you to see the difference. If you want a little more detail in your flame, then you could, of course, shoot at f4, but you'll get that smaller bokeh. Now, your flame size is going to vary based on the candle, how close you are to the candle. Some candle flames are just going to be wider than others. So the red candle has a very short, it's a dipped candle. It's not a brand new candle, and it has a much wider flame. And I could not get it more slender. So this is a candle that I probably would not use in shooting this because I really like the taller look. So this was a brand new candle, and of course I was able to get more of that flame. If you have taper candles, those work great as well. But really, this activity is more about being able to shoot and get that gorgeous bokeh from tree lights, fairy lights, any kind of those kind of twinkle lights. So let's now talk about editing. So let's go ahead and edit this image. First thing I'm going to do is straighten it because I was not shooting very straight when I was doing it. Now, the other thing that I do is I make sure to kind of place my subject around the bokeh. Now, the second thing that you can do when you edit these images is you can decide if you want them to be on the blue tint which I love. To me, winter speaks of cool blueness, but you could also have it on the warm side. Now, another option is you could tint the image with more blue, and then we could come in and do a couple options. One would be to do point color. And I'm going to come in and select the bokeh, and you can see it made it very pink. And so what we want to do there is actually shift the hue. And what I want to do is actually get it, I don't want it to be that shade. So I think instead of using point color, I'm going to go up and do a color range mask. So let's come up and select that, and that selected the candle as well, which is great. And now what I want to do is come down and let's try the temperature slider first. Yeah, I want to bring back that warm color of the light. So I think that's the easiest way to do that. We can really just make it more golden. And then you've still got your blue kind of winter icy look. Now, since I've got the bokeh and the candle selected, I could also come down and reduce the clarity if I want to kind of smooth it out and just make it really soft and a little bit dreamier since it is winter. You could also add some dehaze. That's going to add some white to it, so you can just decide if you like that, or you could actually bring it up. So I like that just a little bit there. Now, as far as the spots in your bokeh, you can decide if you want to clean those up. I probably would clean up this one. So we can go up to our clean tool here, and I'm just going to click on that one. And yeah, just clean up that big spot, maybe a couple of these that are a little more distracting, and that's really it. So I think the biggest decision you have to make would be to alter the warmth or the temperature of your image. So you could decide if you want it on this kind of blue tone, or we could go to another variety of this image. Now this is very golden, so I don't think I would change this one. If we go back to our temperature tint slider, I could add just a little bit of blue, but I really like this more on the warm side. Now, because I had a window here, I'm going to actually crop this. And I knew when I was shooting it that I would just come in kind of tight, bring this in and straighten it up. And that's really all I'm going to probably do to this image. Not much else I need to do. Now, if you shoot other subjects in front of holiday lights, fairy lights, winter lights, you will want to probably edit your background using one of the background masks. So let's go ahead and click on that. And that should detect, yeah, our background. Now it did take our flame, but again, if you had a person in front of the tree or the lights, you could select the background. It probably will not select the person, and then you could edit just your background. So really simple and fun. I hope that you have fun playing with shooting in front of some holiday lights and getting some gorgeous bokeh. Or if you're at home like me this winter, just play with some candlelight. I think it's a beautiful option to express the season of winter. Thanks so much for watching.